Like almost anyone who got the Xbox Series X or the PlayStation 5, I've been getting lost in the Saxon period England in Assassin's Creed Valhalla. It has been one of the richest and most beautiful worlds I've explored to gaming to date, but the game is missing something that I was expecting to get when I got my Series X, and that's that magic of next gen. The game is wonderful, it's brutal, and of course it's huge, but I haven't felt that magic of upgrading after everything that I've seen from this generation so far. And for me personally, it just isn't there yet. I've been spending hours playing Assassin's Creed Valhalla and watching clips of new games, but I seem to can't find that excitement. And it's got me wondering, where has that next gen magic gone? I grew up in the tail end of the 90s and of course the early 2000s, and for people who grew up in this generation and also who played video games, it was possibly the best period to see it grow into the phenomenon that it has become. We've been able to see it grow from its humble 8-bit beginnings in the 70s to defeating Bowser in the 64 period, and then of course taming the Wild West of the last generation. Growing up playing video games all my life, I've been able to experience the best and the worst it's had to offer, but I never tired to see what it brings to the table next. I mainly grew up during the platformer collectathon era of gaming, like Mario 64, Spyro, Crash Bandicoot, Mario Sunshine, Donkey Kong Country, Jak and Daxter, and of course Ty the Tasmanian Tiger. Oh, you beauty! And that's where my love for worlds and level designs really begun. I love being able to see a HUD world and an area with a character to be able to explore, and each stage which a character would typically enter through a portal or painting of some kind, which would gradually become more difficult and test the player's skills and everything that they've learned while they've played the game so far. Each one of these missions would be small but filled with so much life and energy to explore, and as you play longer you begin to learn every single nook and cranny of these stages, making all stages hold a special place in my heart personally. I believe being able to dedicate my time and learning every tip and trick that I could to get all the collectibles and secrets that a level could hold. Of course, there were also open world games like the Grand Theft Auto series or games like Gun that these giant worlds could allow me to explore freely and truly become a part of and immerse myself, but it was the platforming period on which I truly found my love of gaming. And of course my first love of a series is the sandbox brilliance of Halo Combat Evolved. Being able to step out into that Halo ring for the first time and looking at that iconic loop that would go over the player, reminding them that they're just a tiny speck on this planet weapon thing. And every single time I would look at that Halo ring, it would tempt my imagination and make me wonder what is over there, and am I able to just hop over there and see for myself? And of course that can't happen for games in 2001 for example, because games can never be that big, can they? Then something special happened in 2005 that would honestly change the face of gaming forever, and eventually everything just became so much clearer. But let me take you back to that day in 2005. I was sitting there on my PlayStation 2 playing The Legend of Kay, and I got asked to come upstairs and have a look at what my stepdad just brought home. The Xbox 360 on a 32-inch HD TV playing Perfect Dark Zero. I was in shock. This game was so beautiful. The shiny reflection surfaces, the animations, the lighting. The 360 wasn't just a console for me, but it was just a clear gateway into the future. There was no way in my head a game could look any better than Perfect Dark Zero on that day. Early on, of course, there was still that sparkle of the platform era with games that I fell in love with, like Cameo from Rare, on which I would just gush about the incredible amounts of enemies that you would have on screen at one time. Well, it was good back then. And the embossed textures and lighting environments would just look so beautiful to me. Game for me felt so huge, and every time I thought I was getting closer to the end, it would just continue to have more to offer. And for me, there was no way any game could be any bigger or any more beautiful. Enter The Elder Scrolls Oblivion. I was watching my stepdad walk across the lands on horseback, and I remember he just leant over to me and said, "You see that mountain over there? I could go there right now if I really wanted to." That's impossible, surely. There was no way that could be possible. I was in awe. I was so used to just seeing these backdrops and using my imagination to explore them freely. But the fact the game like Oblivion, it allowed me to actually explore them with my character and go to the furthest reaches I could see. This is why Oblivion for me stands out as one of my favourite open world games of all time, despite all its flaws and its now dated environments. Being a kid or an early teenager at the age of 10 and 11 seeing this game, I couldn't believe that I was able to live in this world. It felt like a challenge every day to unlock new secrets and complete as many quests as I could. And the game for so many people embodied that magic of next gen in 2006. It was beautiful, full of character, and became a place that I could easily escape to after a hard day of school. And I'm truly grateful for my stepdad for showing me this future of gaming and introducing me to the next gen of 2006-2005 and allowing me and all my brothers to get our own Xbox 360s early on so we can enjoy whatever this generation had to offer. Of course, over time and even now, games have become bigger. They've become overwhelming in their design in my opinion. Being able to escape to another world has just become a little bit more difficult, as there are so many worlds being introduced to us at one time. How can I become a master assassin while also surviving the deserts of Mad Max, and on top of that trying to stop Calamity Ganon? Games for me have become harder to immerse myself into the role because I'm just so overwhelmed by all the other characters and themes that I'm trying to tackle at one time. I've spent years of my life dedicating to playing games, and no matter the size I will always prevail and get through them, but after I've walked and lived in so many worlds, it's just become so tiresome, and open world games has just made me want to stop. And that's hard, you know. I've spent so long of my life playing as somebody else that I turned out that I've missed moments in my life. There was a time where I'd much rather sit alone playing a video game than being out with the family for New Year's. That actually happened, by the way. I don't regret these memories that gaming has brought to me of this scale, and it has allowed me to experience and meet so many great people, but I wish I took a moment and stepped away from pretending to be someone else for a moment and just focused on me. I remember Red Dead Redemption 2 was possibly the threshold and changing moment for me towards open world games. It reminded me of playing Oblivion and seeing the furthest mountain that I could reach, but now how small it made it feel. In Red Dead Redemption's case, it was the furthest mountain that I could see was the closest mountain I could reach. And as I've grown older, I've found myself being drawn towards smaller and shorter games like Rime or Hellblade or even Windbound lately. Being able to see these small linear worlds that allow me to happily explore every single nook and cranny and every inch and solve all the puzzles they have to offer. And I'm finding myself rediscovering the magic through indie linear games because I'm able to sort of put myself back in a nostalgic mindset and remember what it was like to be able to fully take in a game at my own pace and not have to worry about me exploring an entire universe. And I feel like this is why we've been seeing this remake craze come in and why it's been so successful. We've all been looking for that simplicity that we once had when we was able to immerse ourselves into these small games. Games are forever changing and we're seeing so many cool and amazing ideas come into the future, but replaying these classics and finding that spark of nostalgia for me has really been the nice break from the vast worlds that we've been exploring for so long. And for me then, it feels like it's more than just nostalgia, but instead it's felt magical all over again. Hi everyone, I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm sorry there wasn't really an overall message to this, but it was just more of a love letter on why I love gaming and why I love the games that I grew up with, and I feel like I'm just waiting for that next small linear nostalgic feeling game to come out. I've recently bought Tiger Tasmanian Tiger HD Remaster, and for some reason I've had more fun with that than I have had with playing Assassin's Creed, for example, because it's just a nice little adventure and something I could just jump in and out of. But you know, maybe that's just my age and me growing out of gaming. I hope not. I hope you enjoyed this video, of course, and if you did, why not subscribe and leave a like button for more videos like this every single week. And of course, I will see you at the next checkpoints. Goodbye.